All right. What you're seeing in this image is me, 2010, the summer. I'm on stage in Pearl River with four of the most amazing musicians: John Nolan, John Reynolds, Margie Mulvihill, and the late Keith Samet. And we are making a joyful noise. I'm with the guitar, I'm tan, I'm fit, everything seems perfect. I got a smile on my face that tells you I'm totally enjoying the moment. But friends, what you're not seeing is what lies beneath. What you're not seeing is that for the 3 months of that summer, June, July, and August, I slept in the guest room of my house. My marriage had become so broken, such a place of pain for me, that I could not bear to stand and sit in the marital bed. This is how bad things got. I was working my third job. I was a teacher full time, a musician on the weekends, and in the summer, I was convinced to work at a rich kids' day camp so my kids could go full time for free. I gave up my summers. And you know what? I was physically and mentally exhausted. I was subject to cruel treatment, true cruelty, in the space of that summer. And so, in my brokenness, I requested marriage counseling. It was an act of pure desperation. And I heard these words: "You should go, Billy. You're the one with the problem." Stunned, chilled, heartbroken, I went 3 sessions by myself to a Christian marriage counselor. And right there, when your spouse doesn't participate in counseling, you have an out. I could have walked with clear conscience, but I did not. I stayed for the love of my children. For the love of my children. I couldn't see how to be a good father and not be in the home. And so ultimately, in order to get peaceful coexistence, I gave in. I appeased. Rather than call my wife on the carpet, I appeased just to get along and move on. And this is the summer of 2010. Friends, I had but 3 years left to live. I had 3 years left to save myself, and I did not take the out. I want to empower you, friends. If this is you, if you feel this way, please, for the good of your life, find a way to move away from the toxic. God wants you to be happy. He wants you to be happy. It's what's destined for you. It's what you deserve. So please make the change that I was simply not able to. All right? And I want to use my teachable moment, my failing, to impart and empower you to make that change that could save your life. In this vignette, the guy with the guitar had but 3 years left to live. All right, friends. Now, I want you to take a good look at the image. I'm there with my wetsuit and a beautiful new surfboard at my feet. I'm at Ditch Plains in Montauk, and I am stoked. I got to tell you, friends, I'd been looking for this longboard for over a year. Problem was, the board cost $1,000. Now, at this point, I'd made so much money and given it all over, and that was one of my fatal flaws. I didn't keep money for myself to establish a slush fund for items like a new guitar or a new surfboard. And I just thought, I've done so much work, it should be no problem. But of course it was. I was harassed, made to feel guilt and shame for wanting a new longboard. But you know what? I kept looking. It took me over a year. I was so afraid to spend that $1,000. I waited and found it on Craigslist for $500. Problem was, the board was all the way out in Montauk, 3 hours away. But guess what? I had a really good friend who spent summers out in Montauk. He was a surfer, a total waterman, collegiate swimmer, surfer, spear fisherman, you name it. And he had the same board. He was the one who hit me to the board. So I made the deal. The board was delivered to his place out in Montauk, and I was getting ready to go out. This is the first Monday in August of 2013. I was packing an overnight bag, and out of nowhere, she came up to me and said, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I said, "Listen, Montauk's 3 hours away. I want to go out and surf with my buddy Artie. And you know what? Here's the best part. I could surf Ditch Plains and then sleep over, and the next morning go out to Ditch and find Jimmy Buffett out in the lineup. My musical hero. I spent years chasing this guy. He lived for summers out in Montauk, and he was a total waterman and surfer. And my friends used to see him out in the lineup at Ditch and just say, 'Hey, Jimmy, how's it going?' And here it was. I got an opportunity to paddle out and find the maestro of Margaritaville. You know, I mean, What a great storyline to add to the book of my life, to surf with Jimmy Buffett. What the hell are you doing? You're not going out there. You're not going to spend overnight. And there was absolutely no reason. There was nothing on the family schedule. This was just done to take stuff away from me, take the thing I loved away. And so I backed down. I gave in. I appeased. I said, all right, I'm going to go out to Montauk, pick up the board, surf for a couple hours, and then I'll come home. So for 3 hours, I drove out to Montauk. The first hour, I was cursing, muttering under my breath. And then things eased up. I got to Montauk, went out the ditch, paddled out, and surfed my new board. It was like a rocket ship. I was so stoked. And then after 1 hour, I started to feel the pang of guilt and shame. And after 1 hour, I paddled back in, and my phone started blowing up. Went to my friend's house, had dinner, and the phone continues to blow up. Text messages, phone calls. When are you coming home? Getting your car to come home. And you know what? I could have stayed. I should have stayed. Made a bold move in revolution. But I backed down. At 8 p.m., not able to see Jimmy Buffett in the morning, I got in my Honda Odyssey and I drove 3 hours in total shame and defeat. And you know what? This is August of 2013. I had 6 weeks left to live. 6 weeks left to enjoy this body. 6 weeks left to live, to save my life, friends. I don't want you to ever have to feel this way. See, I'm showing a smile in the picture, but deep inside, I just come through withering abusive treatment. I don't want you to ever have to feel this way. Please let this video empower you to make a change. You deserve to be happy. God wants you to be happy. And in this video, in this picture, I had 6 weeks left to live. Friends, one of the most important concepts that ties all these images together, all these little vignettes, I have to take ownership. I have to take ownership, complete extreme ownership of my role in this. I chose appeasement in the face of a hostile aggressor, and all it did was embolden. So I have to take ownership of that. My failings, I do not want my failings to be your failings. So please, it's all on you. And you may find yourself in a situation that you're not able to handle. Please, for God's sakes, find help. Go to therapy. Go to counseling. One of the fatal mistakes that I made was giving up on counseling after the 3 sessions that I went to alone. If I had continued, I might have been able to make that change, but I wasn't able to give myself permission. And I want you to give yourself permission and call for help if you need it. But friends, I have to take ownership. A lot of it is on me. All right, my friends, take a good look at this photo. I don't want you to ever have to feel this way. Let me explain. I'm at the Jimmy Buffett concert, second week of August 2013, with my 2 best friends, Billy and Brian. Billy and Brian taught with me at North Rockland High School. So get this. Billy taught in room 316, Brian taught in 317, and I taught in 318. I got to go to work every day for years with my 2 best friends right next door. And Billy and Brian, once I arrived at North Rockland, there were a couple of things that united us. First, we all wanted to delve into the sport of triathlon. So we started swimming together and running together. Typical Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for Billy, Brian, and I would be meeting on the pool deck at 6 a.m., swimming for a half hour, 40 minutes, shower, and go teach our day. The second thing we figured out very quickly was our love for Jimmy Buffett. And so in the year 2000, at the end of my first year at North Rockland, we bought tickets to go see Jimmy in Camden. And it was phenomenal. And for the next 13 years, we booked our tickets and went to see Jimmy every year without fail. Now, fast forward. I just come from that horrific incident in Montauk where I never got to surf with Jimmy. And now, second week of August, the Jimmy Buffett concert at Jones Beach. Billy, Brian, and I went out early, spent the day on the beach. But right before I went, I was packing the cooler with plenty of Bud Light Lime and sandwiches. She came up behind me and started guilting me and made me feel guilt and shame for taking a day for myself after all the work that I had done in the previous years. And I had gone the summers of 2009, 10, and 11 working at the camp. I was working 3 jobs. I was physically and mentally exhausted. Going to see Jimmy Buffett was a one-day vacation in Margaritaville, and I loved it. I looked forward to it, and now I was made to feel guilt. And the whole first hour driving out to Jones Beach with Brian, again, muttering and cursing under my breath, completely enraged and hurt, heartbroken, being made to feel so bad for something that I loved. But you know what? I put on a brave face. I body surfed. I threw the football. I drank the beers and saw Jimmy. And what you're seeing is a smile on my face. And in all these images, my piano, the guitar, the surfboard, and Jimmy Buffett, I'm putting on a brave face. And my friends, I want to empower you. I do not want you to ever have to feel and to go through what I had to go through. And so the bottom line is, and I'll kind of put a bow on it, you have a chance to save your life and move to a life that's beautiful, the one that you deserve. You so richly deserve it, and I want to see you have it. I want to see you make the change and understand that all these things that happened to me, they were signposts. They were warnings. Billy, wake up, make a change. In this last Jimmy Buffett show, I had 5 weeks left to live. 5 weeks left to live in this perfect body that God gave me and that I worked so hard to try to perfect. I had 5 weeks left to live. And you know what? That yearning of the surfboard and the days of surf denied and the Jimmy Buffett guilt, all it did was make me want it all the more. And that put me on the beach September 14th of 2013 in a wave that I could not walk away from. So friends, I want you to save your life and make the change and move to a beautiful life. That's what God wants for you, and that's what your old friend Billy wants for you. So with that said, I hope this little video on basically abuse, and I want to be an advocate for you and move to a really good life. God bless you, and thanks for tuning in. All right, friends, one quick point. By giving in, by appeasing the aggressor, all I did was embolden, and that led to very cruel treatment prior to my injury, and then after my injury, everybody wondered, where did it come from? The cruel treatment, and the abusive treatment, and the theft, and the devastation. And friends, it was always there. And all I did by appeasing was kick the can down the road. I was avoiding a conflict that could have saved my life. And once again, I had just a few years left to live. And I want you to get to the beautiful life that you so richly deserve. And thanks very much. And that's it.